Washington, D.C., CNN, 44 states have refused to provide certain types of voter information to the Trump administration's Election Integrity Commission, according to a CNN inquiry to all 50 states. State leaders and voting boards across the country have responded to the letter with varying degrees of cooperation, from altogether rejecting the request to expressing eagerness to supply information that is public. Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, Vice Chairman of the Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity, which President Donald Trump created by executive order in May, sent a letter to all 50 states last Wednesday requesting a bevy of voter data, which he notes will eventually be made available to the public. The order came months after Trump claimed without evidence that millions had voted illegally in the 2016 presidential election. When states began to express concerns about the legality of his administration's efforts to investigate voter fraud, Trump called them out on Twitter on Saturday, questioning whether they were hiding something. Numerous states are refusing to give information to the very distinguished voter fraud panel. What are they trying to hide? Trump tweeted. Numerous states are refusing to give information to the very distinguished voter fraud panel. What are they trying to hide? The information the Commission is seeking includes registrants' full names, addresses, dates of birth, political parties, the last 4 digits of their social security numbers, a list of the elections they voted in since 2006, information on any felony convictions, information on whether they were registered to vote in other states, their military status, and whether they lived overseas. Kobach also told CNN's Anderson Cooper last week, "Whatever a person on the street can walk in and get, that's what we would like." The Pew Center estimated last year that 1.8 million deceased people are still on the voter rolls throughout the states, Kobach told Cooper. They said that's an estimate. They think it's a low estimate. Now, for the first time, we can actually bounce the state's voter rolls against the Social Security Administration's own database to find out how many of those people actually are on the voter rolls. The Kansas secretary also addressed the criticism from several secretaries of state over the past few days that the commission might be seeking to legitimize Trump's assertions that widespread voter fraud cost him votes last November. First of all, the commission is not to prove or disprove what the president speculated about in January, Kobach said. The purpose of the commission is to find facts and put them on the table. Importantly, it's a bipartisan commission. But the commission, which is chaired by Vice President Mike Pence, seemed to misunderstand voter privacy laws nationwide. Every state that responded to the commission's letter said it could not provide social security numbers, for example. Others said they consider information such as birth dates and party affiliations to be private. What's more, Kobach asked states to supply the information through an online portal. Many states have rejected this specific request, noting that the commission should file a voter information request through established state websites, as any other party would. As of Tuesday afternoon, 2 states, Florida and Nebraska, are still reviewing the commission's request. Another 2 states, Hawaii and New Jersey, have not returned CNN's request for comment. And while 6 states are still awaiting a letter from the commission, 4 of them, New Mexico, Michigan, South Carolina and West Virginia, have already pledged not to provide voters private information. The other 2 of those 6 states, Arkansas and Illinois, have not released statements ahead of receiving the letter. Just 3 states, Colorado, Missouri and Tennessee, commended Kobach's attempt to investigate voter fraud in their respective statements. Other states were more critical. 19 openly criticized the commission's request. Mississippi's Secretary of State Delbert Hosemann, also a Republican, took the criticism a step further. 3 state leaders also raised doubts about the integrity of the commission itself, and many questioned the existence of widespread voter fraud. State of play: where do the states stand? Arkansas: we have not yet received a letter. When we do, we will review it, Assistant Director of Communications and Education Chris Powell told CNN Monday, adding, we're keeping an eye out for it. Georgia: The Georgia Secretary of State's office will provide the publicly available voter list, Press Secretary Candace Elbros told CNN Friday. As specified in Georgia law, the public list does not contain a registered voter's driver's license number, social security number, month and day of birth, site of voter registration, phone number, or email address. Illinois, the Illinois State Board of Elections has not yet received the letter, a spokesperson told CNN Monday. Kansas, only publicly available information will be shared with the commission, Secretary Kobach's spokeswoman Samantha Poeta told CNN Friday. Any person in Kansas can obtain it. It is the basic information, name, address, etc., not the sensitive information like last 4 SSN. That information is not publicly available, and therefore it is not part of the request. Massachusetts. The state's voter registry is not a public record and information in it will not be shared with the Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity, Communications Director Brian S. McNiff told CNN Friday. Nebraska, the Secretary of State has not had a chance to review the request submitted, a spokesperson told CNN Monday. New Jersey. No response to CNN. It seems to maybe be a fishing expedition or a witch hunt of some kind, and I'm very concerned about that, Toulouse Oliver said Tuesday on CNN's New Day. North Dakota. In an email to CNN Friday, Deputy Secretary of State Jim Silrom said, "We will answer those questions on the survey that North Dakota law allows us to answer." Oklahoma. Full or partial Social Security numbers are not publicly available under Oklahoma law, said Brian Dean, Public Information Officer for the Oklahoma State Election Board, in an email to CNN Friday. We will provide the Commission with the publicly available information they requested, just as we would anyone who requested the information. We are required to provide public information upon request under the Oklahoma Open Records Act. We commonly get requests for our voter list. I would estimate I get at least 2 or 3 requests per day for it. We have instructions available on our website for requesting that data.